Now, tomorrow is the big day, so-called Super Saturday, when pubs, restaurants and, most importantly, hairdressers are set to reopen. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson is urging everyone not to overdo it, pleading to the public we must not let people down. So can we trust each other, Stacey, to do just that? Can we be sensible when we've all been cooped up for all of this amount of time and we're actually allowed to go to the pub?
I really do have faith in humanity, and I think most people will do their best to stick to the rules. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated because I feel like Boris is talking to us like, don't overdo it, guys, but have fun. And it's kind of like we really, at this point, need a leader to say, OK, we have put some strict rules in place. We have worked out the best way that pubs and restaurants can operate while still keeping everybody safe. So just stick to the rules we've put in place and you'll be fine, rather than, good luck, don't overdo it, love. You think, I don't know what that blooming well means.
Gloria, what do you think? I mean, we've seen Leicester and the poor people of Leicester have spent a fortune in businesses trying to get them up to scratch in order to open, and now they've been told they can't, and the schools have been taken back. I mean, it's just been dreadful for people up there. Do you think that will sort of resonate with people this weekend, that we think, look, it could come back again, we could have to go back into lockdown if we don't behave ourselves?
Well, a lot of things. Later on today, Boris will say, spend the summer sensibly. And that's really the message that he's pumping out. The thing is, I do feel very sorry for people who have been preparing in Leicester. But on the other hand, I am probably more frightened of the virus now than I was at the beginning. Because at the start, I was a bit gung-ho and all, it'll be fine and I'll have a bit out the country. But now, when I hear the spikes in America and various places, and I'm fearful of that. And I just think the second spike might be worse. And when I looked at the pictures from Bournemouth, I was horrified because I just thought people have to be sensible about themselves and the people around them. But on the other hand, if I were living in a flat, a high-rise flat, a couple of children hadn't been able to get out, I guess I would have been down on the beach as well. And in terms of the pubs this weekend, although we are trying to be careful, there's one pub that I know not too far from me, and they've got a big garden, and I think the tables will isolate, and I might just be there for lunch.
Yeah.
But Gloria, don't you think, when you look at those videos of the beaches, don't you think that the government could have at least helped the councils by saying, look, we want you to open your beaches, we want business to go to get what it needs to get, we want the economy back up. So what we're suggesting is that actually you cap the amount of people coming into your beach so that they could put things in place, because obviously as soon as Boris said, go to the beach, go and have fun, you can get out in your car, everyone wanted to go. But had there been a cap on how many people were allowed to be there, it would have just made the whole situation so much easier. So what I'm struggling to understand is why this government won't put any rules in place and will just wait for a situation like Leicester where they give it a go, it doesn't work, and they're back to square one again.
But Tracy, you know, hindsight is a great thing. Who would have thought that so many people would have gone to Bournemouth Beach, that there would be miles and miles of traffic?
Who wouldn't have thought that, though, Gloria? As soon as we've been cooped up for so long, you'd think that the top minds in the country, in our government, would go, blooming hell, I think, actually, if we open the beaches, it's going to be manic, so why don't we try and manage it a bit? I would expect my government to think that.
It's very hard to please everybody, though, isn't it? And I don't think that scene on the beach will ever happen again, because I think you're right. They will put a rule in place. But then there are other things. I made a list of them. You can play tennis, but you can't play cricket. Fathers can't walk their daughter down the aisle. You're only allowed to have a certain number of people at your wedding. You can go to the pub, but you can't go to the gym. I mean, it's very difficult to know exactly what to do. And actually, I would like to be a politician at this time, because you've got to get the economy going in order to pay for schools, to pay for medicine, the NHS and everything. Very difficult.
Yeah, and of course, Judy, as well, this weekend, on the 5th of July, it's 72 years since the NHS began and was first established. So there's a lot of people saying, look, on a Saturday night, please don't fill our A&Es on a Sunday morning on 72 years, on their birthday, with, you know, we've just had too much to drink the night before.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people out, and I think the reality is, you know, we saw in the middle of the pandemic how people came out, and I think because we've had that situation, people's, you know, living conditions was highlighted, and they're just going to want to get out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a representative from Downing Street said the PM's statement to not overdo it was pretty self-explanatory. So there you go.